What do you want?
We're coming to do your studio tour.
And so you're in my studio with no permission.
Yes. Because we're...
Alright guys, obviously we were kidding. It's been a long time since we did anything as far as the studio is concerned. I've done a lot of things since then, guys, including installing stands so that we have floating monitors. I'm not going to go into the extensive every single part that's in here. I'm just going to give you guys an overview about what the main purpose of everything is, and especially to answer the biggest question that I get asked this question multiple times a day, every single day. Why do you have so many monitors? So starting off over here, guys, we have the triangular nanolith panels basically going up from the floor and up to the ceiling over the door, and I have them encompassing the various things that I have. So starting up here, I have a picture of my wife and I from back in the day. When you come down, you have a shelf that I installed. It's flimsy, it's whatever. I just wanted a shelf to have these things. So these are some poppets. This is the Miles Morales, the Bodega cat suit, tracksuit Miles Morales with the white one. It looks like he's got the webs in his hand. I'm not opening them, so I couldn't really tell you for sure. This is the Spider-Man, the black and gold suit version. If you saw the movie, he had to turn his uniform inside out. I didn't care for it, but it was pretty cool anyway. And then we got regular Spider-Man. It says the integrated suit. We got my Super Meat Boy G Fuel cup. I found this at Micro Sunday the other day for $21. Anybody who knows me loves, I know Super Meat Boy, one of the best indie games ever created. Here's a speaker from Logitech. It is from the Z903 series. Here, guys, this is where you guys all want to see. All right, now starting from top to bottom, we have my Spider-Man disc plates. All right, we have Miles Morales and 3 various Spider-Man poses. Under is the nanolith hexagon panels that when they are on, they highlight the disc plates in a really cool red and blue theme, obviously because Spider-Man is all about the red and blue. Up here, we have my other shelf that's installed with all my various cool peripherals that I have. I keep the boxes because I noticed that was kind of a streamer thing to do, so I did it. Here we have a Corsair Void Pro spare headset back there. We got Jonesy from Fortnite just hanging out, ready to jump off the battle headset. Here we got this monitor, guys, which is an Asus ROG 27-inch gaming monitor. Now, this used to be my original gaming monitor back in the day. However, that was like 8 years ago. It's connected to the recording PC. You're gonna see that in a minute. This monitor also is connected to the recording PC. MAG 241CP. It's a curved 24-inch 1080p monitor, high refresh rate at 144 hertz. This does 1440p at 144 hertz. Now, the reason that I have Streamlabs OBS open is because this is how it works. This Stream Deck is for the recording PC only. Now, what happens is I have various controls. I'm not going to explain every single one, but what ends up happening is if I capture 5 minutes of a really cool match or something, I push a button here, which is called a multi-action. What in essence will happen after that, Streamlabs will capture the last 5 minutes, right? It will mute the line in from all the audio that comes from the sound mixer here. It'll mute. It'll go to my intro, it'll start recording, record the intro, then it'll record the last 5 minutes of whatever game I was playing, it'll record the outro. After the outro is done, it will stop recording, then it will go back to the current gameplay that I'm doing, and I'll have an instant stream recap episode. On the same PC, right here in OBS Studio, you guys see that it's gonna be more of like a square. Well, the resolution here is 1440 by 1440. I did that because I play at 2560 by 1440. So what I did was I formed a 1:1 aspect ratio. The reason I did that is because the capture card that's in this computer is able to be utilized by more than one encoder at once. What you guys see here are 2 Logi StreamCam Pluses. They're both identical, and I love these cameras because they are so clear. Full 1080p 60. Now this camera right here is used for Streamlabs OBS. I have 2 separate webcams so that when they capture, it's not through some generic webcam software. I want every encoder to have its own camera. The other camera is actually for OBS Studio. So when I turn these lights on, cameras are illuminated much better. These clips right here, I don't even have to edit or cut them down in DaVinci Resolve. They just come out like this, and I can upload them directly to Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn. And it's already in a perfect format where you don't have to click on it. As you're scrolling through, you see the whole video and there's nothing needed as far as clicking on the video or having to open it to see the full face cam, none of that. Okay, now this right here, guys, this is the recording PC. Now, there's nothing crazy about it. It's a B550 gaming motherboard. The processor is an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 6-core 12-threaded processor, 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RAM, clocked at 3200 megahertz. The encoder that I'm using for all the recording, an MSI Twin Frozer GTX 1660 Ti. It's an amazing powerhouse for recording. Does all the recording, no problem. I'm not sure if you can see, you probably can, but under the graphics card is the Elgato 4K 60 Pro Mark II. And that's what's capturing all the recording for my stream recaps on YouTube and all of the recordings for Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn simultaneously with one press of a button. So for the rest of the peripherals, guys, for the recording PC, we have a Roccat Vulcan gaming keyboard. It's, again, all I use it for is the recording PC. And we have a Logitech G502 wired mouse down here. The Audio-Technica AT2020. It is an XLR condenser mic. It is the best mic, in my opinion, out there. And it is held by the Elgato regular, not the low profile, but the newest microphone boom arms by Elgato. For those of you who understand that sometimes input devices can be troubling, a lot of times I'll run across a game like Warzone or a poorly coded game that doesn't necessarily want to recognize my mic. I don't know if it's because some games don't recognize mics that are already being used by other applications, blah, blah, blah. In those instances, I have the Elgato Wavelink 3. It is a USB condenser mic. It is an amazing mic. Here I have the shock system, the pop filter, and this is the other arm that Elgato makes. It is the Elgato mic boom arm. It's called the low profile. Okay, so it's called the LP if you're interested in that. Moving on, this is another monitor from the Mag series. It's by MSI. It's a 34-inch curved monitor. Okay, the resolution on this monitor, guys, is 3440 by 1440. Over here is where I'll keep up my stream, because I tend to change games or change what I'm doing. I will just keep open the stream information here, and whatever I need to adjust, I'll adjust it there without having to minimize a game or anything like that. Save it, and we're done. This is a case that you guys have already seen, except this is the white version. It houses the streaming PC. This is the Asus Z390 series. The CPU running it is a Core i9 9900K, 8-core 16-thread. It has 32 gigs of a G-Skill Trident Z RAM. All right, it is RGB RAM. The powerhouse of this streaming PC, the GeForce RTX 2070 Super. There are dual Elgato 4K 60 Pro Mark IIs in here. One of them is just for the gameplay for the gaming PC. The other one on the bottom captures everything from my Nintendo Switch. Having said that, here is the HD60 Plus, which is sitting here next to my NAS. This NAS is amazing. It connects to my network, and all of the machines in our house connect to this NAS. It's our Plex server. It's where I keep tons of data. It is amazing, where the kids watch the movies, we watch our TV shows, all of that. And that HD60 Plus external capture card captures anything that's on my iPad. Right here is the Razer ORBWEAVER gaming keypad. I can't play games without this thing. It makes it so much easier on your hand when you're playing shooters. Here is the Logitech G815 gaming keyboard, the Logitech G502 Lightspeed gaming mouse, and this is the Logitech G903 mouse, which I use just for the streaming PC. This is a Stream Deck, which controls everything on the streaming PC, from the text that go with the stream avatars to the scenes that I'm changing when I'm doing tutorial videos, all of my instant replay scenes, my different scenes, my intro, all of the stuff that you guys see me doing is on that Stream Deck. This Stream Deck right here is connected to the gaming PC. This is where I control all of my XLR profiles. This is where I control the lighting for the key light airs and the ring light back there. This right here is a recent purchase, guys. One of my favorite gaming mouse mats ever. Actually, my favorite. It actually has 2 integrated USB ports. It's connected by a USB-C cord. It is extremely spacious. The material is amazing. The RGB software is controlled by the Corsair iQ. It is the Corsair MM, which stands for Mike MM700 RGB. It is amazing stuff. I recommend it to anyone. Right here is my Creative Sound Blaster sound deck. This thing makes sounds louder, quieter, and it's got its own software inbuilt that is amazing. These right here, I love these bad boys. My wife bought these for me about a year or two ago, around the time when I started streaming. These are the DT770 Pros. They go to 250 ohms of sound, but they are really, really great for monitoring all sounds that are coming through that sound mixer, whether it's from Spotify, the line-in sound that comes from my streaming PC. All sounds that are coming through here are crystal super clear. Now on this side, guys, you guys already saw this, but what I did forget to mention is that this is a special arm holder. So this is actually an arm that that you can mount to your desk. I modified it to be hanging from the back of the wall mount from this monitor, and it's screwed to the wall through a special bracket. And this is where I house my iPad Pro. This is the 2020 edition iPad Pro. This thing is amazing. Screen real estate is amazing. It's clear. I have my Nintendo Switch wall mounted here, which is pretty freaking cool. What I do like about this setup over here, guys, more than anything, is that this is actually the third monitor for the streaming PC. This is where OBS Studio is open. Now you guys can see it's in a rectangular shape, similar to the way it was in a recording PC. However, it's not the same resolution. This is actually at 1440 by 2560. And the reason you do that is because, like, when you're on a phone, right? YouTube Shorts and TikTok, they're viewed like that. So I record them like that. And what ends up happening is when I hit the multi-action on the stream PC, it shows you the instant replay on stream, gives it a few seconds. OBS Studio will pick up that very same clip and record it in a different aspect ratio with my webcam up there, the way you guys are used to seeing it on there. And then this up here, oh crap, I just hit. This up here is an HP, it's an old monitor that I had, guys. It's the HP E230T. It's just, it's a 1080p monitor, very cool. It's connected by DisplayPort, but it's only 60 hertz. But really, I just use it as a monitor when I'm streaming to make sure that the stream is looking good, that there's no lag, anything like that. Now here, guys, here's where a lot of the magic happens. You see, I have one camera here. I have all of my Logitech BRIOs mounted on arms that are meant for microphones, but I bought adapters that go from one size to another so that they can screw into the bottom of the webcams, and I can adjust them however we want. So here's my face cam. Here's another one on a much longer arm that was actually specially ordered, and it's back here. All right, it's another Logitech BRIO. And again, if you see these adapters don't come with that, you actually have to order these on Amazon, and they're called microphone to webcam adapters, literally just like that. As soon as you get them, you'll screw it on to the boom arm at the end of it, and then you're gonna have a much smaller thread at the end, and you put it in the bottom of the webcam, you're ready to go. Here is where a lot of people get flipped out about, because they're always wondering how I'm able to do this, okay? With that mount that's connected to the ceiling, guys, is from a security cam system. I was able to mount it to the bottom of the stock ring light holder, hang it upside down, and then put the Logitech BRIO there. So then I just ran the cord across, and as you guys can see, there's cords running across the wall and all the way back to the back of the streaming PC. That's how we're able to get that back shot like that, guys. So another recent addition that we made are the key light airs. I used to just have a smaller light on that side that was just like a cheaper Neewer light, but now I have two key light airs. I have Samson arms. These are Samson microphone boom arms back here, but as you can see, they come all the way out. I didn't like the stands that came with the key light airs because they just have these flat stands and you have to put them on the desk. I didn't want that. I wanted them floating like everything else, but more than that, I wanted the ability to be able to go ahead and move these wherever I wanted to. This was bought for me by my brother-in-law years ago. This was actually the first edition that I ever had, like, as a cool, like, gaming station. It's where, you know, keep out, gamer at play, battling enemies, defeating end bosses, smashing cars, mastering moves, blowing stuff up, do not disturb, leave food and drinks at the door, enter at own risk. Nobody listens to this. No, they don't listen. I have this set up the way that I do because it's a matter of convenience, and whenever I was able to say, I wonder if this would work, I would experiment, and it did work, and so I went and I got it. None of this was bought overnight, guys. This literally was put together one part at a time, so I don't want anyone saying, oh, you're crazy and this and that, or I can never do that. If you want something, man, and you dedicate yourself to it, you're able to do it. So long as you give the glory to God, and so long as you do it in His time and not your own, you can have something way better. But this is why I have what I have, guys. This is why there are so many monitors. This is for stream recap. This is for Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. This is for the stream. This is to change things on the fly because it makes it a lot easier to not have to minimize out of your game all the time. This is to record things for YouTube Shorts and TikTok. This is to monitor the stream. This is where I keep my Norboard emulator. This is where I keep the game, and this is where I keep Spotify. This is my command center down here, guys. When you see my hands moving all over the place, it's because I'm hitting here. Boom, this is where I hit, saving it for Instagram and Twitter. This button right here. Boom. One of these four is the ones that I'm gonna hit when I'm saving it to YouTube Shorts. Also, the first thing that does is it plays an instant replay up here. It was a lot of hard work, but I don't do any of this because I just want to have it there. Every single thing in this studio is working when I'm streaming. Everything is working in this studio because when you spend the money that you spend on it, it better be working. Otherwise, it's just there and it's just decoration and there's no point to it. So I hope that has illuminated a lot of the questions that you guys have. I know that there's probably people who are still going to say what they're going to say and be naysayers, and that's fine. It is what it is. Everybody has their opinion, but at the end of the day, this is what works for me. Do what works for you. Someone else can do what works for them, no matter what. So long as you're happy creating your content, that's all that matters. As I always tell you guys, man, be safe, be good, be blessed, and I'm gonna see you when I see you. Peace.